and I am sure that you are having a great day so far. All right, so for today, we will be doing our grade 7 English lesson on multiple meaning words. And before we start, we're going to log into aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password. We are then going to select the subject of language arts, grade 7. All right, so once we get to the list of chapters, we are going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of multiple meaning words. So our chapter focus is going to be multiple meaning words, and the lessons that we will be focusing on under the chapter of multiple meaning words is which sentence matches the definition and which definition matches the sentence. So we are now going to find out what is multiple meaning words. All right, let's go into our first one. So the first one says, which sentence matches the definition? So which sentence matches the definition? Okay, so before we go on to the activity and answer our questions or answer the questions, before we answer the questions, pardon, words that are spelled the same but have different pronunciations and meanings, we call those homographs, right? We call those homographs. And an example of that is for example, base, right? So words that are spelled the same way but have different pronunciation and meanings are called homographs. And an example of homographs is the double bass is the largest string instrument in an orchestra. So the double bass is the largest string instrument in an orchestra, right? Then it says in the sentence, bass rhymes with case, right? So now, as much as bass is spelled BASS, right? It is it sounds or it's pronounced as case. So bass, case. Then we have bass, right, which is a variety of spiny finned fish water and saltwater fish. And in the sentence, bass rhymes with grass. So bass rhymes with grass. And as you can see, this word is also the same spelling as the word on top, but the pronunciations are different as well as the meaning is different. So in this case, it rhymes with grass. So this content has more than one meaning, right? So when it comes to bass or the fact that it is pronounced differently, spelled the same, right? So it says the new content has more than one meaning. The question asks for the meaning, right? The meaning. And the meaning is usually if we, for example, it's like saying the meaning of something, right? What does it mean? The definition, right? So what the word content. So if we look at the word content, the first Meaning of the word content is material contained within something. Content is the material contained with something. That is the content or the content, right? And then they say you need to consider the first answer choice because now it says the content of a cover letter should be organized and concise. It shouldn't simply reiterate everything on your example, either use resume or whatever that you're busy typing, right? Here, if we talk about content over here, still within this paragraph or sentences, then it means that the material contained within something, which means that you receive the notes, um, it was contained already, right? So, with several opinion polls reveals that voters are more content or content, sorry, it's more content with the city's current mayor than they had been with the previous one. So content, right? So in this case, they will show you different, it's like as if we are getting different words, however, the meanings are not the same. All right. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Credit. Credit. So the meaning of credit is a sum of money added to an account. So the sum of money that is added to an account. And some words have more than one meaning. So credit is a sum of money added to an account, right? So credit basically in our context would be where you borrowed money, example, and the credit is where you need to still pay it back, right? So now you have credit. That is my idea, right? And we said some words have more than one meaning, right? And words, again, that are spelt and pronounced the same way but have different meanings are called homonyms. So words that are spelt and pronounced the same way but have different meanings are called homonyms, right? So then we have homographs and we have homonyms. Homographs is where it does not sounds the same, sound pronounce the same. Sorry, it's not pronounced the same. So it's not pronounced the same, and the meaning is different. It is only spelled the same way, but not pronounced, and the meaning is also different. So that is homographs. But now we're about homonyms, right? And you said words that are spelled and pronounced the same way, but have different meanings are called homonyms, right? And in this case, we have an example of that says Jessica struck the match. So match and held it against the tinder to start the campfire. And the next one is what color furniture would match the maroon carpeting? So we said homonyms are words that are spelt and pronounced the same way but have different meanings. All right, sorry. All right, so we have homonyms and we have homographs, right? And we said homonyms and homographs are basically it's more kind of similar, but it's just that with homonyms, the words are spelled and pronounced the same way, but the meanings is different. Whereas with the homographs, the words are spelled the same way, but the different meanings as well as pronunciation, right? And remember, it is always good to know the meanings of certain words, right? Especially when it comes to, for example, anything if we need to do multiple meaning words or dictionary words or thesaurus words, they will ask things like synonyms, antonyms, right? That basically is the same, right? But not, it's in a different way. Anyways, back to multiple meaning words, right? Let's forget about synonyms. All right, so then we have homonyms and we have homographs, right? Where we said homonyms are spelled and pronounced the same way, but have different meanings. And we have homographs, which are spelled the same way, but have different pronunciations and meanings. And we call those homographs, right? And then also with homographs, we sometimes it can be very tricky because you say something and then it also like it doesn't even sound the way it does, right? All right, so before we continue, let us go next. All right, so contest, what is the meaning of contest? So the meaning of contest, right, is to dispute or challenge, right? So dispute or challenge, right? Usually you dispute or you challenge in court. So some words have more than one meaning. Words that are spelled and pronounced the same way but have different meanings are called homonyms, right? And we made a few examples of homonyms as well as homographs. All right, we said that the word contest has more than one meaning, right? So it can even be like, I contest, right? We say things like that. It's like, I dispute or I challenge. Um, and it's usually used in court, right? Um, Excited about buying a house, Angie almost signed the contract without hesitation. Later, after reading the contract more carefully, she decided to contest it as biased towards her seller. All right. So that is where the word contest is. So contest, she decided to contest when she felt some form of biasness towards the seller, right? And we say that the meaning of contest is to dispute or to challenge, right? All right. And the other say, yeah, contest means race. Then we also have another one that says in the robot. Okay, let me do this. So, in the robotics contest that Angie has entered, participants work in teams to design and build their robots. So, in this case, right, this contest, or more like contest, right, it is a race competition. It's like contest, contestants, right? It's a race competition. So yeah, we have basically both words. The first word contest is to dispute or to challenge, and then the other one is some form of participation where participants work in teams to design and build their own robot. All right. Then we have accessory. 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 Like saying accessory. Accessory. It's a person who helps another person commit a crime. And some words have more than one meaning. We say that some words have more than one meaning. So even though the words are the same, spelled the same, sounds the same, they will still have different meanings, right? So in this case, the word accessory or accessory has more than one meaning, right? So the question asked for this meaning, accessory, which is a noun who helps another person to commit a crime. So that green paisley prince silk scarf must be Miss Vincent's favorite accessory before she wears it almost every year. So accessory. And then we have accessory, which means an item used to embark beauty or usefulness. This is what the correct answer is. So there we have accessory and accessory. The first accessory is to enhance beauty or usefulness. And then the other accessory, it has more than one meaning, which is a person who helps another person to commit a crime. All right, so before we go on to our test, let us quickly go to the whiteboard. All right. So we said we have multiple meaning words, and we said it can either be words that sounds the same and spelled the same, but the meanings are different, or it can sometimes be spelled the same, but the pronunciation and the meanings are different. So that is multiple meaning words. And with multiple meaning words have same spelling and pronunciations, but different in meanings. And that is basically the same as homonyms, right? And now, if we look at the little hands that you see over there, they're not giving us two different pictures of the word wave. So the first wave is, the waves at sea, right? That is the wave. And the other one is, it shows a hand, right? That is waving. Then we have a bowl, glasses. The one glasses is like sunglasses, eyeglasses, and the other one is glasses that we drink something out. And soar, right? A person that soar is meaning that it's the opposite of see. And then we have another saw, which is to cut the trees, and so on and so forth. So now we're going to come to the activity with me. Sun. Okay, so which piece of text uses the meaning of refrain? We need to say uses the meaning of refrain. So refrain, right? Refrain is a verb. It's to keep yourself from doing a desired action. So refrain is to keep yourself from doing a desired action. So, is it Steve couldn't remember all the lyrics, but he belted out the refrain at the top of his lungs? Or although I hate to miss calls, I always refrain from using my cell phone in restaurants and movie theaters. All right, so the definition given to us is hamper. Which piece of text uses the meaning of hamper? Hamper, which is a large basket with a lid. That is a hamper. Now we need to look at these two words, two sentences. No, I haven't seen your skinny jeans, Mrs. Clark said to her daughter. Have you looked in the laundry hamper? The planned lane and ramp closure will likely hamper the flow of traffic into the city. All right. So, hamper, a large basket with a lid. So, I'm going to read the two meaning or the sentences again. It's not sentence meaning. No, I haven't seen your skinny jeans, Miss Clark said to her daughter. Have you looked in the laundry hamper? Right, so there we already have the one word. The planned lane and ramp closure will likely hamper the flow of traffic into the city. The new newscaster reported, which means that we are going to choose the first one. So well done. So compact. We need to find the meaning of the word compact, which is an adjective, and it's packed closely together. Compact, packed closely together. After years of conflict, the signing of the contact compact instilled hope for peace in the city of both nations. Or the other one, about 8% of the skeletal system consists of compact bone. The remaining 20% is spongy bone, which is lighter than less dense. So, which piece of text uses the meaning of compact? And compact is packed closely together. So, after 4 years of conflict, the signing of compact instilled hope for peace in the citizens of both nations. Oopsie. I will. Oh, that went out. Sorry, I don't know what happened, but we are back in. So, which piece of the text uses the meaning of refrain, right? Refrain is to keep yourself from doing a desired action. We said Steve couldn't remember all the lyrics, but he belted out and refrained from the top of his lungs. We said it was the second one, right? I don't know why it went out. And then with the basket, we mentioned it was the first one. All right, so now we are here by compact, right? It is packed closely together. About 8% of the skeletal system consists of compact bones. So if we say it's everything together, let's just choose the second one because it is everything is, packed together. It's a closely knit. Then we have custom. All right, custom is a practice that is traditional for a particular group, right? So when it comes to customs, right, we all of us have our own cultural groups that we belong to, right? And there are certain things that you follow. So that is custom. It's a practice that is traditional for a particular group. So built in 1986, the 1950s revival led sled was a custom car built with a variety of modifications to look like a class American car. Or throughout much of the Middle East and India, people often eat with their hand rather than the utensils. This custom is to use only the right hand for eating. Now, see, that is almost like a tradition, right? Where you know you need to, for example, eat with your hand and which hand to also eat with. Oopsie. So we're going to choose the second one. Because the other one is to do with modifications of cars and it is not the same. All right, so which piece of the text uses the meaning of formula? Formula. And formula is a rule of principle for making calculations in maths. So the formula of for finding the area of the square is a squared, where a is the length of one side. Or when the Coca-Cola company introduced a new formula for its popular soft drink in 1986, it was the first time the product has been changed in 99 years. So we need to choose the word, one of the meanings of the word formula that uses formula. And we said formula is a rule or principle for making calculations in math. All right. Now we need angle. Which piece of the sentences uses the meaning of angel? An obtuse triangle may be isosceles or scalene, but it always has an angle that is greater than 90 degrees. So, and then it says, be careful when driving on Crescent Ridge. Mr. Peterson cautioned Erin, the road will angle sharply to the left after you cross the bridge. So we're going to choose this one, the second one. All right. All right, so now we're going to which definition matches the sentence. All right. We said with multiple meaning words, right? It is words that have the same spelling and pronunciations are different, and that is multiple meaning words. All right. So we are by which definition matches the sentence. So now we will be given the definition and then we need to say which sentence it matches, right? Or matches the definition. And just once again, words that are spelled and pronounced the same way but have different meanings are called homonyms. Words that are spelled and pronounced the same way but the meanings are different. We call those homonyms. And then we have words that are spelled the same way but have different pronunciations and meaning. We call those homographs. All right. So if we look at the word temple, right? We need to say what does temple mean? Because I skipped some of the words because that was already words that we have mentioned. So when Egyptian king Amenhotep III built the house of millions of years in the 14th century BC, it was the most elaborate temple complex on earth. Some words have more than one meaning. So not that is the last one. So it was the most elaborate temple complex on earth. So now that is the way the structure was built, right? We called it a temple. And this temple was the temple of the Egyptian king Amenhotep Hotep III, right? And he built a house, which is basically a temple, if you can put it like that, of years in the 14th century. All right. So on his cooking blog, Harry shared a recipe for blackberry cobbler that calls for a teaspoon of almond extract. So on his cooking blog, which is cobbler, Harry shared a recipe for blackberry cobbler that calls for a teaspoon of almond extract. All right. So the meaning of cobbler, right? We said here cobbler means fruit pie with a thick crust, right? It means fruit pie with a thick crust. So it's basically a fruit pie with thick crust, a cobbler. A cobbler. So a cobbler is a pie. Then we have monitor. Preparing a budget can be an effective way to monitor your balance, your finances, track your expenses, and help you save money, right? So here they say the question gives the sentence. Monitor means to watch carefully, right? It's like you are checking up all the time because you are monitoring it, right? It's to watch carefully because that is monitor. That is why they have a watch, and we basically just say watch carefully. We were okay. Formula. To find the volume of a cylinder, use a simple formula. Multiply it to the area of the base of the cylinder by its height. And some words have more than one meaning. More than one meaning. All right, so in this case, the meaning of formula, right? Here we say that the meaning of formula, it means a rule or principle for making calculations in math. So it is basically a rule or principle for making calculations in math. So that is formula. Formula. It is the rule of principle for making calculations in math. And then we have ray. Ray. About the size of a quarter. Team. So about the size of a quarter, fair. The Mount Charleston blue butterfly is a rare species found only in the spring mountains of southern Nevada. Some words have more than one meaning. All right. So now, what does rare mean here? So yeah, rare is uncommon, right? It's like saying, we rarely go there, right? Are you sure? Meaning that rare is uncommon, right? So it's uncommon. All right. So yeah, the next one is, what does monitor mean? Yeah, monitor. All right, so monitor. They say also preparing a budget can be an effective way to monitor your finances, track your expenses, and help you save money. That is monitor. It is to do with seeing, right? So yes, it says preparing a budget can be a very effective way to monitor your finances, track your expenses, and help you save money. And like we said, this is basically to do with we need to just be effective. So monitor means to watch carefully. And if monitor means to watch carefully, right? So it's like to be safe on the road, put on your helmet, put on your gear, and be safe on the road. Or watch carefully, sorry. Monitor means to watch carefully. All right, let's go to the test. All right, so what does angle mean here? Angle, not angel, angle. When installing crown molding on a vaulted ceiling, you must measure the angle of the slope along the wall and the ceilings. So when installing crown molding on a vaulted ceiling, you must remember the angle of the slope. So is it angle, which is the noun, the space, the moon, two lines or planes that cross, or angle, a verb to turn or bend? All right, so when installing crown molding on a vaulted ceiling, you must measure the angles of the slope along the wall and ceiling. So we can say, let's use the first one. right? It's the spaces between the lines and the planes, that had to do something. What does refrain mean? What does refrain mean? When seals flocked to Oregon beaches, biologists asked residents and tourists to refrain from interfering with the newborn pups, whose mothers routinely leave the puppies on shore while they hunt for food in the morning. So, is it a refrain meaning a recurring verse or song or poem, or refrain to keep yourself from doing desired actions? Mm-mm. So we see that when seals flock to Oregon beaches, biologists asked residents and tourists to refrain from interfering with the newborn pups. So we're gonna say it is this one. All right. And then we have, what does shoulder mean here? Shoulder. So Aaron shifted the car into reverse, glanced over his shoulder, and then slowly backed out of the driveway. So what does shoulder shoulders mean? So shoulder is a noun, the part of your body that connects the arms to the torso. And then we also have shoulder, which is shoulder verb to accept and bear a burden or responsibility. All right. And the last one. The right accessory can make or break your outfit. The saleswoman at the boutique told Mary. So accessory is something that you put on your clothes to basically just enhances your beauty, right? So where the focus is not just too much on clothes, but it can also be on either your beads, bangles, necklace, rings, anything. So that is accessories. So the right accessory can make or break your outfit, the saleswoman at the boutique told Mary. Accessory noun is an item used to enhance beauty or usefulness, or accessory, which is a noun, a person who helps another person commit a crime. So in this case, it is an accessory to enhance beauty or usefulness. All right, well done. All right, so that is basically multiple meaning words, and we mentioned different definitions as well as different words. We either had to identify the definition or the definition was given, and we had to identify the words. And we spoke about homonyms as well as homographs. So this is the end now, grade 7, of multiple meaning words. You should have a great evening further. Goodbye.